doesn't mean that Twitch doesn't have its fair share of problems. Of course it does. It's just that, you know, at least it's not a platform that is genuinely trying to market itself as the place to go to when you get banned out of every other
office. It's important to note that
Wait, what? Former Kick staff says what we all knew. So that was dropping hard R's casually in the office. Wait, what? Ex-staff, why I had to leave Kick?
For those of you who don't know who I am, which is probably 99% of you, my name's Melissa, and I was previously employed by Kick and Steak. There's been a couple of controversies recently that I've posted on my Twitter just in regards to how they've treated me since I left. Not only did they send me a cease and desist, which I'll go into in a second, in regards to this tweet, or here, but they've also been lying about the fact that I was fired when I quit. So I posted this post with my resignation letter in it. I think a lot of people were kind of confused on why I would post a resignation letter to like 700 people that follow me on Twitter. This is because quite a few people in the esports industry do follow my account. And I thought it was a good way to showcase that if they had heard these lies, that they were absolutely unfounded. And I felt like I really had no other option. I mean, it was either let it go or try my hardest to get it out there, that was absolutely not the case. Now, when I talk about them lying about me being fired, I'm not talking about an entry-level exec or some account manager. I'm talking about the CMO of both Kick and Steak, the guy that approves all the contracts. He's the head of the affiliate team for Steak. He runs the social media team, but pretty much everything runs through him. Every event, anything at all, as far as ideas or streamers or anything runs through this guy. He's basically Ed. He's on the pretty much the exact same level as this guy. He directly reports to Ed. The CMO basically runs everything. I think they decided to go with this strategy because Steak and Kick are supposed to be sort of booming at the moment, and a lot of people in the industry would probably think it was crazy for someone to leave because it's such a big opportunity, and it really is, especially being in Australia where we really don't have a big entertainment industry at all. So, you know, this is kind of a once in a lifetime opportunity for people. I think that they would have thought they would get away with saying that I was fired because there's no way someone would leave this business. Little do they know it was actually extremely easy to leave with the things that go on in that office. The ego on these people is insane to think that no one would leave. But they do employ people purposely that are completely okay with unethical behavior and conduct it themselves and work with zero integrity. So I'm not surprised that they were surprised that I would leave. I guess that was a mistake on their point to even employ someone like me, thinking that I would be okay with even a quarter of the things that happen in that office. It's important to note that the office environment for me was extremely hostile. Not only because I was being treated pretty poorly by a couple of individuals and the people that I went to for help were not helpful at all, but because there was just a consistent disrespect to other people's opinions and beliefs. And this went as far as to just consistently hearing the F slur, and not even just in jest, like as a joke. It was specifically, you know, targeted towards people that it was supposed to discriminate against. Even so much as to walk past the socials room, the guys that run the, you know, Kick streaming and Kick community, and hear the N-word just dropped. Hard R. And I'm like, what is this office? How? And they had the executive, like the upper management was in.
Shocking. Who could have thought? Who could have thought that they were that this was happening? Would have never imagined. What I want to know is, I mean, first of all, they're literally paying streamers to like defend saying the N-word anyway. Or they're paying streamers who are defending saying the N-word anyway. What I want to know is like, what kind of marketing initiatives they engaged in. Did they pay those like blue checkmark Twitter accounts to do ads for Kick in general, or maybe even attack Kick's enemies, perceived enemies? I would love to find that out. That's what I would know. That's what I would want to know.
In the room. And I just sort of was like, what did I just hear? I couldn't believe it. And it's like, I came from companies that if you said anything slightly offensive, you were in trouble, if not fired. Like, and I think, you know, there is
I'm incredibly shocked by this news. Kick always seemed like a bastion for progress and really was looking to shake up the streaming space. They were incredibly pro-labor and streaming. Yeah.
A balance that you have to strike. But at the end of the day, it's the company's responsibility to ensure that everybody feels safe and welcome. I even remember seeing a couple of people in my team laughing because they were deliberately misgendering transgender streamers. Like, how do you function in that environment? So in regards to my resignation letter, a lot of it was blurred. This was just due to the fact that a lot of it was personal information that wasn't really relevant, or it depicted another staff member whose story is not mine to tell. But the part that you could see that I really didn't want public, but I knew if I blurred literally the entire thing out, it would have zero impact and people would just assume that it was fake anyway. So I speak about the fact that I needed flexible working arrangements and that they were revoked. A lot of people assumed that I needed to be home all the time, or I was working from home, or I wasn't showing up from work, or I was taking a ridiculous amount of time off, which is just absolutely not the case.
You literally told Vice President Train to be careful not to go down this path to his face. Once again, you were correct, but just too early. At that point, I was just correct. And people were getting the bag to not see it. And so instead of, I don't know, heeding my warnings, they chose to disassociate, alienate myself and my community and cast me out in social pariah. And, you know, a couple years down the line, we are now looking at a situation where every single person still carries on those resentments, by the way. Like, their communities still carry those resentments. The Hasan is a snake type shit, you know? And yet people now also recognize that maybe I was right. Just won't say it. They still carry a shit ton. They still carry a shit ton of that resentment. Maybe they don't even know why they carry that resentment. They've just been conditioned into fucking being like, yeah, that guy sucks. His opinions are wrong. Nope, they weren't.
So my daughter started school in February, and every second week I needed to pick her up. So I would get in at around 9:30 after dropping her off. I wouldn't take any breaks or have lunch, and I would leave by about 2:30. It's important to note that a lot of staff members work from home, and we absolutely didn't have a stringent office working environment where we couldn't actually access information outside of the office. Especially my team, where we had to work 24/7 because we were the POCs for a lot of partners overseas. And also I was consistently working with businesses overseas. So there were times where I would be working from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. outside of work hours after doing a day's work. So it was very normal to work from home anyway. And all I needed to do was work from home for a couple of hours at the end of the day to pick up my daughter every second week. You can imagine it was a surprise to me when the manager of the partners team, yes, the same guy that has been going around spreading lies about me, sat me down and just flat out said that my flexible working arrangements would be revoked effective immediately, and I need to find alternatives.
I got shit for saying Kick will only last as long as Eddie's willing to call it an advertising expense for steak. It was doomed to fail from the start. No advertisers running on Amazon IVS, no organic growth, have to hire people to come. It was doomed. Yeah. Here's the thing, everybody. Ultimately, the same test exists for Kick as it does for every other streaming platform. Would people go there and voluntarily stream there for free? If the answer is no, then there is no, there is no long-term commitment to growing the platform. And I say this about, I said this about YouTube at the time as well. YouTube, if they wanted to, they could genuinely, if YouTube wanted to, they could genuinely create a massive competitor to Twitch. They just don't care about deploying enough resources in that direction. They care about short form content, so Twitch lucked out in that front. But for Kick, it was never slated as a genuine competitor to Twitch. It was just created because, you could no longer advertise steak on Twitch. Sorry, but this is wrong. Kick is genuinely thriving. I like a lot of creators that move there, and they're cleaning it up. Currently, I'd say only about 85% of the streamers there are Nazi kid diddlers. They're making progress. Yeah.
I found it absolutely disgusting that
Twitch has always had issues itself in getting people to the platform. They were pretty open about this pre-2016. They've always relied on big gaming releases. Kick doesn't have that draw. Well, it's a little bit different when the big draw you have is like the next pedophile drop or something. You know what I mean? I'd rather have a platform have a bigger draw with gaming releases than new slurs being unearthed. It's like, hey, we found a new way. Guys, we found a new and unique way to distribute CP and accrue and aggregate and distribute CP. That's the big draw. Or a new slur at the slur factory. A new way to film yourself doing crimes. Shocking. Additionally shocking that, you know, people who got the bag to stream there specifically defend it. Okay? Of course. This doesn't mean that Twitch doesn't have its fair share of problems. Of course it does. It's just that, you know, at least it's not a platform that is genuinely trying to market itself as the place to go to when you get banned out of every other platform for doing sometimes crimes, like literal crimes. When the bag dries up, you will see what streamers truly feel about this platform. They won't say it while they're being paid, obviously. But when they are no longer being paid, you will hear what their true opinion was on the matter. Will anybody turn around and go, well, what the fuck? For years you lied to me about this shit? Probably not, because as streamers, we do have a very sycophantic audience for the most part. And it is one built around parasocial activity and parasocial behaviors. So, of course, you know, just like what I mentioned, even though I was right about this kick shit from the jump, many people who carried that resentment because their streamers held that fucking resentment don't even know why they are resentful now, but they still go along with it. And they will absolutely turn around. They will absolutely fucking turn around and forgive their favorite streamers. Here, let's see what LSF has to say. This is technically now from a live stream, which we normally don't allow, but the YouTube video is pretty much industry-related news. Just like the LTT obvious, Luke's face when he said the first thing that comes to my mind now, oh, the hard R. In the video, she recalls the time the staff discussed getting Kaide on Kick. We can get her on Kick streaming Steak for a relatively low price because she probably thinks she's going to die soon and she'll want to leave more money for her family. What the fuck? Wait, did I miss that part or did she get to...
The second reason, so the second incident that happened about 2 days prior to me leaving, which really solidified it. I walked out of this meeting, called my friend and was like, it's done. I'm done. I'm out of here. I cannot do this anymore. We were talking about the fact that they were trying to get a very beloved Twitch streamer over to Kick, to stream Steak as well. And God, it's horrible. And just for context, this particular streamer had been publicly battling cancer recently. So they decided to utilize that in their strategy to get this person over. The conversation very quickly became quite sinister. I'm going to say a quote, and it's something that I cannot get out of my head because it's so heinous to me. And I think it will speak volumes in, you know, the type of characters that work there, which is why I had to get out. The quote that I remember hearing was, we can get her on Kick streaming Steak for a relatively low price because she probably thinks she's going to die soon and she'll want to leave more money for her family. When I heard that, I actually was surprised. I sort of looked up in surprise. And everybody else was sort of looking at this person that was speaking and just being like, yeah, you know, that's true. Let's go with that. Like, I think we can get this person. And I remember getting really hot after that. Like, I just felt like I was in hell and I was talking to the devils and I was talking to demons. Like, and
that's nice of them. No. You're fucking joking, right? You're going to say top of the hour ad break. Like, there's no way you genuinely think that. No, that's got to be bait. That's got to be bait at the top of the hour to be like, oh, lol. Anyway. honestly, that is like, when you think about it, I feel like that kind of like bloodless opportunism is like somewhat expected from any kind of corporation, I guess. You know, it's fucking demon shit. It's pretty gross. And I don't know what else to say about it. This is not an excuse for Kick or Stake, obviously. But it is literally a crypto gambling casino that created this live streaming service specifically to continue doing marketing for their crypto gambling casino, which provides a service like unrestricted access from your computer without very significant regulation or protections.
And these demons were plotting to, you know, take over the world, and I had to stop them. Like, it felt so bad when I walked out of that meeting. I actually ended up going home early because I needed to have, after having that conversation with my friend, I just needed to really, really think hard about whether I could stick this out. And obviously my decision was that I was going to walk away. I had no intention to expose the company, although a lot of people that I did speak to about these issues, like throughout the entire time I was there, and then obviously when I left and the reasons why, they said that people should know about this, especially because this company has so much influence. Letting people know about what's going on behind the scenes might help them hold them accountable. And there is nothing without accountability. And right now they are not accountable for anything. As you can see, they just let shit slide. They do anything. They don't care about pedophiles on the platform. Like this guy right here, I had to fight tooth and nail to get this guy off. This is something I went into detail in the other video, but yeah, fought so hard to get this guy off. And he told two 14-year-old girls that he wanted to do something sexual to them. And he even included their age in the proposition. I mean, if you haven't seen the video, it's so heinous, it's so wrong. And the fact that everyone there could watch it almost with a grin on their staff members who were defending it, saying that it was a joke. That was actually one of the first times I was like, I have to walk away. If this guy stays on the platform, I have to go. Child endangerment, like having children on the platform. Before I got there was no verification process for if somebody was underage. And it's so funny because by the time I left, me and compliance had put together a process, and because I was pushing it so hard, I'm like, we cannot allow anybody under 13 to stream. Now, nobody knew this, by the way, because I guess when you copy Twitch's TOS verbatim and then you just get some random guy in the office to change, you know, the wording, none of the staff know the terms of service. So a lot of people were just like, nah, she can stream even if she's 6 years old because, you know, she'll have her dad near her or whatever. And it's like, no, that's actually not the case. She cannot be on the platform and she cannot hold her own account. Funnily enough, when I left, I was like, okay, good. The child safety part is pretty much done. They have a process now in place, and I'm pretty sure there's no need to allow children on the platform, because what market are you trying to capture? You already have pedophiles on the platform. Are you just trying to like appease them? Like, what's the point? I still don't know, because I saw this tweet about 2 or 3 weeks ago where a prominent staff member is promoting on Twitter an 11-year-old boy who...
What the fuck? This kid's been hustling all weekend, doused with a solid family at his side. Check out when he fires up on Kick.
Year-old boy who, whilst I was there, I was the reason why this kid got banned. And I'm sorry to the child that, you know, that might upset you, but it's about your own safety. And especially on Kick, I feel like sometimes Kick should...
They're definitely going to get clapped by the FBI. Bro, the FBI's asleep at the wheel, dude. I think you got to understand, a lot of our law enforcement agencies, like even federal ones, are just like not really doing a lot of shit that you think they'd be doing. Like, it is crazy to consider, but there are... I mean, this platform straight up has like a shit ton of people that are serializing child pornography, like distributing and generating CP. I don't know what else to say other than like, that's fucking insane. That's not just like cancel culture or whatever. That's just a crime. The FBI has investigated like 5 times, dude. They clear steak every time. What do you mean? We're not talking about we're not talking about steak, the gambling casino. I also ran the ad breaks chatters if you're trying to serve me that.
Should be like under, you can't even be on it under 18. This child was banned when I was there because, you know, I did have a zero tolerance towards it because children need to be protected, not only against the people on the platform, but you need to protect children against being, you know, exploited by their parents, which you see on YouTube all the time. You need to protect children from people on the streams. Like if he got chatbotted or, you know, a bad character came into his stream and started saying horrible things that you can only imagine, I would feel guilty for that. And who knows what that's going to do to that child.
Yeah, also, aside from the fact that he's streaming on a platform with like people who are literally distributing CP, you know, like
as he grows up. Ugh, God, I just can't believe these people. Anyway, so as you can see in the tweet, he's just promoting him. He's reinstated his account. The kid gets featured all the time. And he's verified, and he's 11. And the reason I know he's 11 is because on his Facebook page that he used to stream on, it says, I turned 11 in Dallas. They just blatantly ignore their terms of service, which are in place to protect children from dipshits like this, that I, for some reason, had to fight to get off the platform. I'm sorry.
What the fuck is Kick Viewbot? It's just like Adolf Hitler on the fucking Avi. Thank God she's gone. She's the wokest employee I've ever seen. Good riddance. That's not wokeness. It's basic common sense on how to run a company. The company was built on free speech. The minor thing and the Jake Future thing were a bit far, though. I can't get mad at that. So what? Oh, I guess it's a bit far for fucking the CP shit, you know? A bit far? A bit far for what? The criminal justice system? Like, what are we a bit far for?
It's this type of shit. This just makes me so frustrated because the
KVB person, I think, is a picture of the same dude that was with the 11-year-old. He's calling him Hitler.
Bare minimum is to protect kids. And these 2 examples just showcase that they could care less. They could care less. There were times where I was nearly in tears because I just didn't understand why they cared so much about letting this guy stay and letting this kid on the platform. I don't understand. I do understand that the less savory...
Like a bit far is when you have like an edgy content creator who maybe teeters along the lines. Okay? Like who teeters on the edge. Like, that's a bit far. You know what I mean? Like letting someone back onto the platform after they've like been edgy or whatever. Okay? It's not, you can't say it's a bit far when you talk about like a person who is distributing and acquiring child pornography. That is not a bit far. That is insanely illegal. You should be in fucking jail. You should be in prison. Okay? Having children stream on that platform on top of it is insane. I don't know how to describe it.
Streamers do have viewers that are likely to mortgage their fucking house to stream on stakes. So that is the reason. And well, you know, what's a few pedophiles for a few $1 billion? So anyways, thank you for watching. I don't know if this video is even going to go anywhere. I hope it does because this is the only way that they're going to be held accountable. I also don't know what's going to happen to me because of this video. I don't really care if they sue me. I doubt Stake wants to be in a courtroom anyway, but...
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, if they tried to sue her, I mean, I don't know the litigation process in a place like Australia, but like ultimately so much. The HasanAbi paints his nails, Zoom clip, aged like fine wine. I'd rather watch you paint nails than kick streamers solicit and sell CP. Yeah. Do you guys have that clip? I want you to understand like the culture surrounding Kick for a second, where they would do like in the beginning when they were in their heyday, when they were celebrating their glorious W's, like bringing up all these like massive content creators with insane bags onto the platform. And I didn't even know about this. They were having like investor meetings or whatever. They would have meetings with like the executive team. And in those fucking meetings, they were talking shit about me, which is insane to me. Like it just, what, oh, this is the one. This is,
play devil's advocate. What other platform are you going to get finger painting lessons from Hasan? You know, it's content that only Twitch can offer the community.
like, I think that guy's literally Travis Scott's manager. That's Eddie. Right? That's Eddie, right? Steak. You have Train right there, Aiden Ross, Bruce Jobamoff. Like, the fuck are they doing? Like, this is supposed to be like a moment of celebration. Why the fuck are you bringing me up and finger painting and shit?
Community.
Yeah, I mean, it's
classes. We can also offer classes in socialism.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I've never seen a socialist that is, you know, that is probably matched up with America's top capitalists.
Point of order, quarterly financials, 2, tax returns, 3, Hasan Piker Instagram story, 4, employee layoffs. Like, that shit is obsessive. Like, actually obsessive.
You know,
Insane.
in their pockets. So pretty wild world we live in here. But, you know, as we know, the people are stupid. They can't see the truth until it's too late.
Yeah. Speaking of the truth until it's too late, I'm sure of me fucking warning Train about this years ago, but I don't know. It's out there.
But yeah, I mean, I think you bring up a great point, David.
A socialist that is bought and paid for by Jeff Bezos.
Pretty sure this clip is from literally days after the 4-hour long convo you had with him and X. Yeah. These dudes were literally bought by Kick, right? The content creators, I mean, Train was like one of the founders. These two are content creators that they had hired at that point. And this dude owns like Stake. I think he owns Stake and also Kick. This guy, I don't know what his like affiliation and involvement with Kick is. Aiden has a percentage. Here's a clip.
Your entire business model, in my opinion, is that of a capitalist business model, right? You sell how the world should be while justifying not implementing those very systems of how the world should.
By the way, you fucking literally sent me a Train has no right to speak out at all when he actively promotes gamblings to his viewers. Absolute scumbag. Hasan basic necessities budget Piker in his multi-million-dollar house, 150K car. Hasan is such a joke. The amount of Hasan glazers in the comments. The argument you make money, hence you can't criticize capitalism is genuinely like what a child comes up with. Hasan got the fluoride stare.
World should be by saying you're just participating in society. That's fine. You can participate in society, but at the very least in the position that you're in, making what you make, the words are not enough. You should be implementing these very systems.
Yeah, I think this is a D fan channel, fan clip channel.
Within your own community to show that these systems work. Do you understand? On a proportional level, if you cannot implement the very systems you preach that should be implemented within America into your community of 30,000, I would just say you're grandstanding and you're just selling an idea to make money yourself, right? Like
that's great.
To me, that's
that's a great point. That's a great point. I am producing commodities with the help of others that are involved in the process. And I told you that I utilize, when I am actually producing commodities, utilize the same values that I uphold, whether it be unionized domestic employees that I am whenever I'm working on merchandise, or whether it be having a cooperative podcast or having full autonomy and having everyone set their own wages with relation to how much profit or how little profit a certain venture makes. In most other circumstances, I have no control over it. I think this was not the Kick clip that I was looking for. There have been numerous instances where I warned XQC and I warned Train time and time again that, you know, they need to be careful that you can't fucking you can't operate a website on pure. You can't operate a website on pure, like, you can't advertise a website and operate it on the virtue of not having fucking terms of service.
That hope.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
You're not selling false hope? Yeah, because you said what?
No.
That gambling is bad? Whoa, book, gambling is bad. Meanwhile,
Yes.
you sit there and you generate hundreds almost of millions of dollars, maybe half of that now.
I get paid for exclusivity. I don't get paid off of others losing.
Totally, dude. Totally. Exactly. Also, on top of that, I do wish you well on Kick. I really do, because I want a competitor. I want a competitor to Twitch, because I think that would make platforms overall better. But make no mistake, ironically, you started off talking about how you hated how much titty streamers or fucking hot tub streamers and the meta was awful, and now you got porn on your platform. Now you got one of your main poster boys at Kick showing porn to minors. So maybe you now recognize the importance of moderation, especially as it pertains to an overall platform.
Wait. Let me respond to that. First of all, me going on rants about titty stream.
Same reason negative solidarity doesn't work. What? Why don't you set up a mental health service for gambling addicted viewers? He did, and then he dropped it, I think. But there were multiple instances where the fuck is this, bro? Stop sending me fucking random TikToks. I'm looking for something specific. But in any case, of course, I mean, it got worse than that. It wasn't just like showing porn or whatever. It was also obviously like a hotbed for CP and Nazi shit.
That was effective immediately, when basically giving me no time to come up with an alternative. And not to get too personal, but I don't have anybody to lean on. I don't have friends or family that can help me out here, and they were very aware of that. So for me, there was no other options. They were basically telling me to choose between my child and my work. Of course, I asked if this had anything to do with my performance, because to me, that was the only excusable reason that they could have to even revoke the rights, but to do it so suddenly. I was told in that meeting that it had absolutely nothing to do with my performance, which made sense to me because I wasn't underperforming at all, and I hadn't been told ever that I was underperforming. So it would have been very out of the blue for them to just say it in that meeting and not tell me anything prior or give me any kind of notes prior to that, like, oh, please work on this, or you need to do better here. When I asked what the reason was for this insane backflip, they told me that my parental responsibilities were becoming a burden to the team's morale, and that it was going to have an effect on their performance. And as you can see, this was solidified in this email. Yes, I have blurred out the rest because it's totally irrelevant, and I want to make sure that this stays on track. This was very hurtful. You know, if you're a parent, you know that your morale is also very low, especially if you're working full time. So to hear that...
Yeah, dude. Totally. It's funny, dude. Did it?
Other people's morale was low, for me having to run around like a psychopath every morning and every night trying to, you know, scurry together to get her to school, to get to work, to leave work, to go get her. You know, it was a lot of pressure on me, and it's a lot of pressure on anybody. And to be so blatantly just disregarded, you know, and overlooked in that moment, it really sucked. Look, I wasn't at all surprised about being treated like this, because the way that company is run is unimaginable. But it did make me sad being told that basically my daughter was a burden to other people. I also reference in this resignation letter that I was being mistreated by a couple of co-workers. I'm not going to get into this right now because honestly, it's just a lot. There's a lot to say. I actually made a video that was an hour and a half long about Kick, but I decided that I kind of came off a little bit like this guy. So I am not going to release that right now. I'm just going to go into my last month at the company and the turning moments that made me go, this is absolutely not worth it anymore. So after being told that I couldn't have flexible working arrangements, I sought out the CMO. that great guy. And I was like, what do I do? Where do I run? Who do I speak to? Blah, blah, blah. He goes, I'll speak to Ed. Ed is the one that basically fires you, or he doesn't because of these types of issues. So every single day I came in, I was like, okay, I'm expecting them to give me an answer. You know, a week went by, 2 weeks went by, 4 weeks went by, and I'm still chasing this guy up. Like, what's going on? Can you just let me know? Like, can we talk about alternatives? I'm happy to do an extra day on the weekend if I have to. Like, I wanted to continue to try and move this platform to a good place, a safe place, a savory place for the industry. And I couldn't do that if I didn't work here. And honestly, they need all the help they can get in that regard, because most people that work there really don't give a shit. I actually never got clarity on this at all. I actually quit before I ever got clarity about it, so who knows what would have happened. The stress of not knowing was definitely a part of wanting to leave, but there were 2 specific incidences in my last couple of weeks.
So it's okay to show minors porn, right? I don't think that's the case, right?
Of course not.
Yo!
That's definitely weird as hell for him to do that. But to bring it from the
How
point
many
you're bringing
days
it
did
right
he get
now
banned
is
for that?
completely
Off of
disingenuous.
Kick? How many days did Aiden Ross get banned off Kick for that?
That's
Main
not in my
poster
power,
boy.
but I push for it all the time for these things to be bannable.
Okay. No, it's good. I just wanted to know. So you didn't ban him.
Listen,
Did
if
he
you're
get
so
banned?
innocent in the areas you're
doing
innocent,
in bad faith here. Stop
Did he get banned off
it.
of Kick?
he did not. If
He
you're
didn't even get banned for showing minors porn on Kick. That's crazy.
showing minors
You're one of the co-owners, aren't you? You're like one of the main people that speaks on this.
I'm an advisor. Yeah, I'm pushing for.
So you didn't advise them to fucking possibly ban the guy for showing porn to minors?
I advised him to give a 24-hour, and I chewed him out when I called him, and he can confirm this.
Okay. Well, this is great. 24 hours? You think you should get banned only for 24 hours for showing minors porn? If you think Twitch would, how would you react if Twitch literally fucking banned someone for 24 hours only? There have been instances. There have been instances where it's 72 hours, and even that's longer. And I'm sure you've advocated against that too. Why is there such a gigantic double standard here?
There isn't a gigantic double standard. Kick is.
I think it's super important for you to point out that X being there was 2v1, because this was a few weeks before he got his Kick deal, which he was giving equity of the company. Yeah, I mean, at that point, I mean, it's always a 2v1 whenever X is the moderator. Let's be real.
It's been out for 4 months and is still in beta.
You as an advisor and as like a co-owner of a platform can't control Aiden, but you want me to fucking tell my editor what positions of.
Here's the clip.
Main poster boys at Kick showing porn to minors. So maybe you now recognize the importance of moderation, especially as it pertains to an overall platform.
This was after you being charitable for 4+ hours, trying to re-explain every unfair question and pressure by the 2, so you're semi-popping off here is satisfying. Yeah. This was this was edited down to 1 hour and 27 minutes by HasanAbi Productions. It's a debate from March 20th, 2023. Or no, it's not a debate from March 20th, 2023. I think it's from even before then, if I'm not mistaken. It's just that this is where train washed the meme comes from as well, this debate.
Oh, wait. Let me respond to that. First of all, me going on rants about titty streamers 4 years ago or however long ago that was.
Oh, your positions have changed?
Oh, so have H3's positions changed?
Oh, no, I love that. I love that.
Can you change?
Yeah, of course. If your positions on titty streamers have changed, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Okay. I'm glad.
Okay.
But I don't think your positions have changed so much that you think it's okay to show minors porn, right? I don't think that's the case, right?
Of course not.
That's
definitely weird as hell for him to do that. But to bring it from the
how many days did he get banned for that? Off of Kick. How many days did Aiden Ross get banned off Kick for that?
That's not in my power, but I push for it all the time for these things to be bannable.
Okay. No, it's good. I just wanted to know. So you didn't ban him.
Listen,
did he
get banned? So innocent in the areas you're innocent.
Did he get banned? Did he get banned off of Kick?
No, XQC wasn't saying whoa because he thought the conversation, he was agreeing with me. He was saying whoa because I remember He's going to say, I'm being bad faith by saying showing minors porn, implying that even the invocation of the word minors, which is what comprises Aiden Ross's audience, Aiden Ross's audience, is actually done in bad faith.
He did not.
He didn't even get banned for showing minors porn on.
But this isn't when I warned Train. I warned Train before this as well.
You think you should get banned only for 24 hours for showing minors porn? If you think do you think Twitch would, how would you react if Twitch literally fucking banned someone for 24 hours only? There have been instances. There have been instances where it's 72 hours, and even that's longer. And I'm sure you've advocated against that too. Why is there such a gigantic double standard here?
There isn't a gigantic double standard. Kick has been out for 4 months and is still in beta.
You as an advisor and as like a co-owner.
I think you warned him when you and Ethan talked to Train and X as well, probably.
Of a platform can't control Aiden, but you want me to fucking tell my editor what he can and can't say. That's an entirely different point of the conversation.
You want me to govern someone that is outside of my purview, regarding my brand.
You warned everyone in that video and Aiden Ross himself about so many things. Yeah. Aiden Ross, I warned many times over about not going down this path of like being a fucking Andrew Tate dick rider. And now he's going to turn into this like right-wing demon. I tried personally reaching out to him many times over. And now he is like, I mean, now he is so far gone at this point. We're still working out the bugs in Kick Beta. Bug report. Consider CP a bannable offense. I tried. My online streaming career is filled to the brim with these kinds of fucking moves, with like a shit ton of people every step of the way, either saying I'm being not harsh enough on these guys because I'm cloud obsessed. Members of my own community that leave because they're like, you're so fucking cloud obsessed. You're not being hard enough on these dudes. And then the rest of those communities becoming like incredibly fucking anti-me because I'm calling them out. How dare he call out my favorite content creator? My favorite content creator hates him now, so I hate him as well. So if you're wondering like why I have so many fucking haters, like this is part of the reason, because I was right often. Okay, and consistent often. What is this?
Whether or not you would apologize,
harm to others,
violence. Yeah,
I mean, hate speech is part of that.
Call to actions or the pseudo call to actions are really bad.
Freedom of speech to justify their hate. It's disgusting. It's completely disgusting to pervert like the boundaries of freedom of speech and to try and justify the.
I know a lot of people in the community hated how you were not hard enough to X. Though I do think you were hard on X. Yes, there were a lot of people who were like trying to find reasons as to why I wasn't being hard enough on XQ. It must be like some secret reason. Type Nazi in the transcript.
People
and
come
this
over
is
thinking free speech means hate speech. That is not the case. Do you understand?
Well, that's usually why. That's usually why they do that. It's like a disingenuous way of framing it. Every platform has. Even 4chan has like some speech restrictions on even poll. It's a normal part of the process of like regulating any sort of forum or any sort of place where people congregate. But a lot of Nazis will often utilize that as a reason. But I agree, and I think I'm happy that you are against it. I mean, maybe you'll have advice on how many days they should be banned, but you know that does seem like a good idea.
I agree with you, and yeah.
I think hate speech should never be allowed. But I do sometimes I feel like sometimes people are personally misconstruing what is a freedom of speech to try to extend it to whether it's guys that's hate speech. Ban
they pervert freedom of speech to justify their hate. It's disgusting. It's completely disgusting to pervert like the boundaries of freedom of speech and to try and justify the use of hate speech. It's completely disgusting, and I see it happen all the time.
Technically, hate speech is protected under free speech, just for the record. In the United States of America, at least, it's just that private platforms oftentimes have a different level of restrictions, which is understandable. Like I said,
yeah, by hate speech, I'm referring to the speech that brings like harm to others.
Violence. Yeah, I mean,
hate speech is part of that.
Call to actions or the pseudo call to actions are really, 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 really bad. I mean, I think we can agree on that. That's just fucking bullshit.
Train, read the Wikipedia page for socialism before you come. If you want to influence someone and change their mind, you can't just yell at them and talk shit. People don't respond well to that. In most cases, will retaliate. The way you speak to them is fine. Yeah, it doesn't even fucking matter. Like, it doesn't matter because both of these people are now firmly within, you know, they're Kick streamers or play a significant role on Kick. They get money from Kick and Stake both, and you know, it is what it is, I guess. I'm thoroughly defeated, dude. Like I have so many fucking moments like this that have created so much anger and resentment towards me by people who don't even know where where that shit comes from. You know? But I mean, it was conciliatory at the end. Not that they followed through on it.
The use of hate speech. It's completely just.
Do you regret doing it? Fuck no. No, of course not. I just